Definition of slavery. Why I think we live in slavery. Well, we work according to the apprenticeship program, according to our government, at 1,800 hours a year, what it takes to have 1 year of full-time work. 1 year of full-time work, 1,800 hours, it's 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, to qualify for apprentice 1 year, till they can go to school and spend 2 months at school, which is paid for by EI when they go to school. So when you go to school on an apprenticeship program, you're on EI for that 2 months, and you only get 75% of your wage, whatever your first year is, or your second year, or your third year. Okay? EI and social services are the exact same. No difference in pension. They're all equal benefits. If you work 1,800 hours in a year, anything over that is overtime. So if you have to work a second job to survive and make up money for food because you're not making enough, then you should be getting paid overtime for that extra work, no matter what it is. Okay, at $8 an hour, what is BC's minimum wage? You'd only make $14,000 $400. At $9 an hour, you'd make $16,200. $1,602. At $12 an hour, you'd make $21,600. At rent, for 12 months, at each month being $1,200 for a one-bedroom apartment, it'd be $14,000 $400. At $9 an hour, if you add up your total per year, you'd only be left with $1,800 a year left to pay all your electrical bills, telephone bills, and food bills, and clothing allowance as well. At $12 an hour, you'd have $1,600 or $6,600 left for food, clothing, and necessities. At $9 or $8 an hour, what our minimum wage is, if you're paying $1,200 a month, you would not be making anything for your food, clothing allowance, or any substances such as heat, hydro, cable, or nothing like that. You'd be basically paying your bills. So basically, that proves slavery right there, that our minimum wage is not substandard to even survive in a decent one-bedroom place. Small town, you might be able to find one, but a place like Courtenay, for a one-bedroom place, I was looking in the newspaper, they're anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200. Also, in 1998, Andrew S. entered the BC Supreme Court and won a case against the BC government that a wage is considered discrimination as well. Because, who knows why, I wasn't in the courtroom. That's the definition of slavery. And Andrew S. versus the government and discrimination. That's my math. And I took an apprenticeship program, I worked my ass off, and all I figured out it was, they wanted slave labor. One journeyman for every 5 apprentices, so they can run them dry. And then they weed out the ones that aren't good or ones that aren't. But you know what? These big companies are still charging out $50 an hour for the journeyman rate. And they're making money on top of the labor, because if a journeyman's only making $20 an hour, which most journeymans on a union job make, everybody gets charged out that. And if the guys that are only paying $12 an hour, they're making $18 an hour. But because they have to buy tools and whatnot and everything like that, most of the time they're charging out $50 an hour per labor, per person, to pay for all the tools that go missing on a job site and get broken on a job site. So, apprenticeship programs, are they good? No, they're not. They're cults for labor, and how many people actually do climb the ladder to get there? I've been through it. I would not do another apprenticeship program, period. Because, hey, for 2.5 years, I worked my ass off. I went to school for 2 months, and basically, I failed because I failed my math. I had my grade 12, I graduated, and hey, I failed my math at an apprenticeship program. Maybe it wasn't the right thing I've ever done, but I took a plumbing apprenticeship to follow in the footsteps of my uncle and my grandfather, who are both union reps. And my uncle runs the Saskatchewan Training Board for apprenticeships, and used to be a plumber teacher or steam fitter teacher at Kelsey Institution in Saskatoon. That's all. My definition of slavery and work. We don't get paid enough to work in this country and to survive with the increase of rent and everything else. And don't forget damage deposits and all kinds of other things and hair schemes that they come up with not to give it back to us either. So, remember this. Smoking and beer are considered drugs. They're not C-class drugs such as steroids, pot, marijuana, cocaine, and all those other kind of stuff that are out there. So watch what you do out there, because it's all one big cult.